Hi Sloths, and welcome to my second Let's Play, Ebon Light. Yes, I know I pronounced it wrong in that little trailer thing that I made. It is pronounced Ebon Light, not Ebon Light. I didn't even realise until like 20 minutes later. But anyway, once again, welcome to Ebon Light. This is a dark fantasy visual novel. I've already explained this in my little trailer thing. But there is one thing that I didn't really explain, which I probably should have, and that is in this sort of like create your character menu. Now, before we do anything else, before I explain what it is that I forgot to explain, we're going to put in a name. I can't remember what that just said. I was going to say something about that, but I can't even remember what I just said. So we're going to put in the name Mavis Sloth, and the reason for that is that I am Sloth on a stick, so the surname is Sloth. Mavis, because reasons, I guess, reasons I'm probably never going to get into. Anyway, hairstyle. That's the one that I had in the thing. Yep. I wish my hair was as long as that. It used to be that long, but I had to cut my hair because it was getting to the point where it couldn't even handle its own weight, which was really annoying because I loved having long hair. Now I do have long hair still, but it's nowhere near as long as that. It's like just over half of that. It's like up to there. Maybe there now. I don't know. Hair colour. Is this... Yeah, this is black. My hair colour is actually kind of more like that, but a tiny little bit darker. But we're going to go for black because I prefer it. A lot of people actually mistake my hair colour for like a really... words. People often mistake my hair colour for black because of how dark it is, but it's actually really, really, really dark brown. Kind of like that one, but tiny bit darker. Anyway, eye colour. My eyes are actually... They change colour quite often, which is really strange. It's either green or like a dark grey. So I'm going to go for dark grey because I prefer it. And you actually get quite a lot of skin colours to choose from, but I'm just going to stick with that. Now, the thing that I didn't mention during my little trailer second Let's Play video thing is this disposition, and this is basically your character trait. And basically the way it works is during the game you'll have a lot of different verbal options to choose from. Things to say, and I think a couple of times actions you take. But basically it is depending on what you say, certain character trait meters will fill up and your face will change to particular to these three particular like faces depending on what you say. And basically this just gives you a head start in one of those sections and is also what you sort of your lead trait will be. Now, as you can see here, this is charm. It makes you more attractive and likeable. That will come into play if you decide to be like flirtatious, because this is part romance and stuff like that. Clever and observant. This will probably help you stay alive in certain situations. And that's cunning. This is tenacity, which is what I'll be going for because this is me in a nutshell. Tenacity is resilient and determined. This is what's going to keep you going during difficult events, mentally that is, and it also it makes you a little bit what's the word? I'm trying to think of a word. It just makes you more stubborn, and that's basically me in a nutshell. But let's actually get into the game now. There was once a tomb that buried only the living. The people who built the tomb were plagued with a terrible affliction, but before the affliction could consume them, they sealed the plague away in the body of a creature. The creature itself was kind and gentle, so very much so that in the great nobility of its heart, it had accepted its fate without complaint. But the people were afraid that one day the creature would escape from the tomb and the affliction would return. So they gathered their remaining warriors, and they made their warriors into guardians. Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but that's not even starting until like 2023, which sucks. I only found that out like yesterday. Because the way I remember it, it was supposed to be like the first of a phase, well, other than Black Widow, it was supposed to be like one of the first of the next phase films, but apparently not. The Guardians swore an oath that they would guard the creature for as long as there was need, even if that need should be endless. With the creature, they entered the tomb and sealed themselves within, unaware of what they had promised. Years stretched on, and the Guardians stood vigil. The affliction no longer threatened the people, and so, as people often do, they forgot. By the way, you're going to hear this music all the time. It's one of the few tracks in this game. It's a really nice song, I love it. But I don't love it when I'm listening to it for like 9 hours, because this game is kind of really long, somewhere between 6 and 9 hours. When I first played this game, the person who who recommended this game to me, I was talking to him the entire time, and they're watching this, by the way. I know you're watching this, but that person told me that it was going to be like a 4-hour game. I remember I was like sat here playing this the entire day for about 9 hours straight. Somewhere between 6 and 9 hours. It's a long ass game, it really is. But deep where the light could no longer reach, the warriors' conviction had begun to wane. Their vow had come with a terrible cost, and the task was simply too much to bear. For who can truly comprehend the unending? Time had turned their duty into a torment, and they were consumed by desperation. They yearned for light, the warmth of the sun, and they despised the darkness around them. Don't know why that popped up twice then. When their desperation became rage, they betrayed the creature. They clawed out of the earth and were blinded by the sun, unaware that they had unleashed a forgotten affliction. Are you done? Yes. In Edric, stories are usually relished. What else is there to do with an idle mind? And what was I to take from this miserable little tale, Mavis? Never trust anyone, fools make foolish oaths, darkness cannot be sealed away, nothing, or just passing the time. I think the miserable little tale of this would be that darkness cannot be sealed away. Because no matter what, people eventually over time become incompetent pieces of shit. That's just how the world works, apparently. A terrible affliction contained. If every story I've been... This doesn't make sense, by the way. This particular sentence makes no sense. I really hope that it's somewhere in the universe a patch that fixes this one little tiny mistake. And I remember that there's quite a few little mistakes in this game, and I'm pretty sure that's because the developers are not of English origin. I can't remember where they are from. I'll probably plug that in somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere like Russia, maybe, because I mean the aunt, which is Vanya, she is, well, Vanya is a Russian name, I'm pretty sure, so yeah. Anyway, if every story I've ever seen, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be, is even the tiniest bit true, stuffing darkness under a rock never works. And the reason for that is basically dark types are not, well, rock types are not super effective against dark types. Pokemon reference, yay. I see. You have much to do, Mavis. Go on, get to work. Vanya is usually, in the game she's usually seen as being pretty mean-spirited. Sort of a mean old woman, likes to keep to herself. But yeah, this is like one of the other only tracks in the games. You'll hear it quite often. I do like it, but I don't like hearing it for like several hours on end. Anyway, on my way into the village, I discovered that Edric had visitors. It's rare to see outsiders here, but these men were an exception. They came just as often enough that we were no longer surprised by them. Most of the time they kept to themselves. But even the friendliest of their number would grow evasive and choose words very carefully if asked too many questions. Luckily for their dislike of meddling, we dislike change. I also dislike change. I'm not too sure about the whole meddling thing. I kinda do meddle sometimes, but I usually try and stay out of it. We left each other be and suited one another. As it would happen, I was caught in a conversation with one of our visitors. Rylan, a crew member of the Serpentine, the most beautiful ship man dared dream of. Not that I had anything to compare with, nor the wish to disagree. I actually have seasickness really bad, so I cannot go on a boat. And I also have, like, this strange fear of, like, the ocean and just large bodies of water in general, and drowning. I hate the idea of drowning. It just freaks me the hell out. It's horrible. So I haven't been on a boat in many years. And just looking at the boat makes me feel really sick, so that's not good. Especially because we're actually going to be riding a boat later, and I know that's a little bit of spoilers, but when I first played this game, it was quite a long time that we was on this boat, and boy did I feel sick. It just has that sort of motion, and I hate it. What is it? Spice, my dear. But from where? Well, I'm not sure. You're not sure where you stole it? Can't you tell me anything about it? Well, then why should I care about it? Yeah, top one. All plundering begins to get easy after a while, does it? And yes, I am going to use my usual dialect and accent for Mavis Sloth. because why the hell not? I mean, it's supposed to be a representation of like me in this, so Ryland's gonna have to have like a pirate sort of voice. Maybe such a suspicious mind. I don't really know. He needs like a. I wish I could do like an impression of like Captain Jack Sparrow. Press the issue or let him be made. I'm gonna press the issue because I'm a bit of a bitch. I really prefer to have at least a slight idea of what I'm getting when I trade. I realise this is an eccentricity of mine, but bear with me. Oh, surely you can guess at why it might be difficult for me to give you details. Why, you might be better off not knowing. And that is exactly why I want to know where it came from. I don't know if I want to be involved in whatever this is. Calm down. It's nothing that scandalous, my dear. It's just spice, a modest amount at that. I obtained it along with a few other equally mundane trinkets. Besides, do you really care where I got it? Yes, I bloody do. Of course I care. Morality aside, ill-gotten gains have dangerous consequences. Look at you, concerned and worked up. Stop flirting with me, you little bastard. You're not taking this seriously. That isn't true. I'm only certain you have nothing to worry about. Whatever it is you suspect about my other dealings, this little pouch of spice was a simple side venture, entirely legal and almost completely worthless. So why are you trying to trade with me? Ryland Kenner. What kind of name is Kenner? So, do we have a deal? Ryland wanted to trade this mystery pouch of spice for a few of the ramps in my pack. It was an unusual opportunity. But I had no room for frivolousness. Everything with forage was accounted for, and everything lost an empty belly. I actually personally do not say the word belly often at all. I don't like the word very much. I don't know why. I always just say stomach. Strange. It's just a thing. And there's Ryland to consider, of course. He's an entirely chaotic element of his own. A sailor. Charming enough now, and while I've never seen him do anything suspicious, his idea of haggling is probably steal or kill. I mean, he is a pirate. Well, at least he's not trying to steal me rum. If he stole me rum, I'd fucking kill him. I'd have his head on a pike. I love rum too much. So let's try to haggle, or agree to the trade, or decline. I wonder if... Screw it, let's haggle. This is my dilemma. Each of the rams we gathered yesterday are practically accounted for already. Practically? Try to imagine my situation, Riley. We in Edric do not have many luxuries. We certainly don't have interest in fancy little pouches of spice. It's all very simple here. You're trying to haggle with me? That's right. I love that sort of like taken aback sort of smug face and body posture. It's sort of like, shut the fuck up, you little retard. What are you talking about? It's kind of like smug and disgust at the same time. I love it. I want to know who did the artwork for this, because the artwork for this is beautiful. It's all kind of like this oil painting, I guess you could say. Or something like that. I don't even know what it's called. And this is where we get into the options and stuff. I don't have enough cunning to actually haggle with him, which sucks balls, but oh well. So we're just gonna go, alright. Suppose it's little use, innit? Yes, that's good. It's good to recognise your betters. Oh, you smug little bastard. Literally what I just said. Don't get too smug too fast, Ryland. Ryland turned to leave. I was happy to let him leave as quickly as he wanted. I wanted to ask for stories of the seas. I wanted to see if he had more to trade. Considering we were just complaining about trading, let's actually ask for stories of the seas. I quite like stories. Rylan, you're leaving so soon? Itching for stories, aren't you? Well, yes, of course, you already knew that. Alright, I can make a bit of time. Which story shall I tell? Places you've seen, the might of the sea, something rare and beautiful. Ooh, I do like rare and beautiful things. I mean, yeah. The might of the sea. The sea is a scary, scary ass place. I don't like scary ass places. Let's not talk about the sea, that'll freak me out. Place have you seen? I would love to travel, but reasons and current world issues. Places I've been to. That's easy enough. Since I know you've never heard of Hasper, I'll tell you of it. Hasper is far south of Lorelei. Lalaurie? Don't know why I said Lorelei then. That brain must just be on Pokemon mode. Hasper is far south of Lalaurie. Lalaurie? That's such a... It's like when you're talking normally and you don't already have it in your head, that's just hard to say. You'll always say something completely different. Lalaurie territory, where it starts getting arid and the mountains turn pale from rock to sand. There is... do ignore my saves. Oh, let me save. Yes, override that. As you can see, I have not played this game since like August. We have a compendium which tells us of people, places and lore, and I just realised that we're not going to get anything new because I've already played this game before and already have all the stuff here. Shit. But we are going to take a quick look at Lalaurie because I did not have either. I don't think I even have had either of those. Let's have a quick look. In the I'll just sort of go and look at specific things when I see their names pop up in the thing. Anyway, let's have a look at Hasper. In the arid deserts south of Lalaurie, a bustling city called Hasper can most likely be found. Most likely? Why is that in italics? Strange. Nestled in the cradle of mighty dunes, what is most peculiar about Hasper is its simple existence, for as its Lalaurie neighbours claim, Hasper has not existed for very long at all. Oh, I didn't realise how much we were. Discovered recently in 1128 V, during an annual trade voyage to Sekrax, Lalaurie traders were astounded to see a thriving civilization, where just the year prior there was none. Their story was later sustained by Sekrax traders, and later still by Ruru, which is another place, people, kind of. Directly questioning the generally friendly people of Hasper has always proved quite fruitless. The people of Hasper, in addition to being friendly, seem to be quite fearless, while our neighbours do not usually come as a comfort, but the people of Hasper seem wholly secure in their standing. They have an insatiable appetite for music and dye trade, most citizens fluent in multiple instruments, and dye traders treated as celebrities among the locals. Though a warm and welcoming people, understanding anything beyond superficial facets of their culture has proven difficult, Hasper and its people are still largely a mystery. And because we've already heard it, let's have a quick look at Lalaurie. The Lalaurie Empire was founded in 201B and is one of the oldest surviving nations of Kaliar? I have no idea how you're supposed to pronounce that. There's quite a few places, names or whatever you want to call it, that I'm going to struggle to pronounce because we're all in this sort of like, just strange words. I don't know. The monarchy of Lalaurie controls a vast expanse of land, ever increased by aggressive conquest stretching from the southern Vahil? I'm guessing that N is silent, so I'm going to say Vahil. Deserts to the heights of the broken basins. Lalaurie is known for luxurious trade and an exceptionally bloody court. The poor of Lalaurie have few personal rights and suffer a great disparity between themselves and the rich, with widespread disease and starvation in certain colonies, contrasting the opulence of the rich and noble. It is common practice for the young impoverished men to enlist in the Lalauran armies. The armies accept nearly any citizen and can secure warmth and a full belly. Because the armies boast such huge numbers, the tactics of the insatiable king rely heavily on an overwhelming presence. Though loyalties are sworn foremost to the king, it has been common historically for dissenting dukes to split a section of the armies in civil war. Lalaurie carries an intimidating reputation, this is really long, among neighbouring civilizations, though you will not find many wishing they were born in Lalaurie. It is a powerful nation capable of taking what it wants, and it has historically taken much. Those unfortunate enough to be in the Lalaurie conquest path have typically evacuated heavily demoralised by any recent failures of efforts to stand against Lalauran armies. Solely human in population, Lalaurie is known to be racist and hostile toward outside species. In many colonies, the revelation that a person is non-human would warrant immediate execution. That's a little bit of a spoiler. There are things in this game that are not human. Anyway, we're almost at 30 minutes, but I think we can keep going for a tiny little bit longer. I only say that because I want to get past this little pirate section here. Miserably hot. The stories say Hasper sprang up out of the sand overnight. One day, an empty desert, and the next a thriving city. People of Hasper are most peculiar. They behaved as though they'd always been there, and wouldn't suffer arguments to the contrary. So for people allegedly there all along, and somehow gone unnoticed, you would expect an unwelcoming, bashful, hostile sort of culture, yes? But no, incredibly friendly, and generous, trusting. Music is everywhere in Hasper. It's some sort of cultural cornerstone as far as I could tell. Anywhere you go, you hear music playing. I mean, it's basically like a game. Anywhere you go in a game, there's always going to be music. Not always, but most of the time. I heard that every child knows how to play an instrument before they learn to walk. That's obviously fake. And they're particularly fond of Lalaurie dye. I don't know if it's because when it's that hot, even the sight of a cool colour can soothe your soul. American word. Oh. Wait, I think you can go back. Yeah. American spelling, how dare you. Yes, I'm English, not American. That's why I don't like that spelling. Just no. Anyway, can soothe your soul. But get close, seen Blue? I've never heard of Keklicene blue. Is that real blue? Huh. Anyway, in particular sold like gold. We were really eager to trade for dye, but even after months, drowning them in that dye they craved, you would never see the colours used. Not on their clothes, or their curtains, their rugs. So one day I asked the woman what they did with it, and not even blinking an eye she leads me to their palace. I follow her down dozens of stairs, so far down that we were definitely deep underground. The air got cool, the smell of the hot sand began to change into something I couldn't quite place. She takes me to this room, a huge room, wide as the serpentine is long. In the room they have grooves cut into the walls, and in the grooves, flowing down like sap from a tree, is Keklicene blue. Keklicene blue, briary red, all of the colours we'd ever sold them. Now we'd sold them a lot of dye, but even enough for a bloody waterfall. Wait, what? I don't know. The colours would keep flowing, slowly dripping down into the floor, disappearing somewhere below. No idea how they did it, no less why. The lady was awful proud of it, though. You didn't ask? That's the thing, they were secretive, friendly to a fault and never once doubting our presence, but still secretive. You ask them where they come from before their city just bursted through the sand out of nowhere. They bat their eyes and smile and ask what you'd like for dinner. Acting all charming but oblivious, you know. Well, there's your story, my dear. Goodbye, Mavis. See you tomorrow, eh? That is that. We're going to have one last quick look at the compendium. Because there is Rylan right there. And we're going to have a quick look at who Rylan Kennett is. Rylan cannot be more than 30 years old, and no one would be quick to call him wise or mature. Even so, he has experiences in his eyes, whispering of grand, terrible adventure. The only family he speaks of is an older brother, Tiernan, who serves aboard the Serpentine with him. When it was that Rylan turned to piracy is a mystery, most notably to Rylan himself. He seems to believe he has always been a member of the Serpentine's crew. He expresses no desire to change, nor does he seem to regret a thing. Yet, for as immoral as this must make him, he is relatively pleasant to be around. He is quick to smile, easily befriended, and yet difficult to fully trust. Anyway, do we have a thing on Tien? No, we don't. Law. There is, yeah, the Serpentine. We can have a quick look at that. The Lalaurie-made ship was once a duke's vessel, and by all accounts, every nefarious secret the Black Ship holds is a product of a man far more wicked than any pirate. A mutiny of the most unexpected sort occurred shortly after the Serpentine first set voyage. A small minority overpowering the more heavily armed majority, defying nearly every prediction of failure. That reminds me of the tale of Captain Morgan. Don't know if that's supposed to be like a reference or a thing to it or what, but things and stuff. The small band of marauders doubled in number overnight and tripled before the Serpentine's ducal commissioner, never heard of that, could form a response. The Duke's interest in recapturing her mysteriously vanished as the Serpentine began making a name for itself up the Lalaurie coast. And I believe that should be it. There's no one else to really talk about. So we are going to save this real quick, and I'm just going to save right there. Yep, save. and we're going to end this off because it has been 35 minutes now. So this is quite a long first episode, so sorry about that, kind of ran over a little bit. I was hoping to keep this to like 25 minutes, but I went over, mainly because I was talking about various other things, going through the compendium. But that is it, that's going to do it for this episode. I really hope that this game does gain the attraction that I want it to. Maybe not through me as such, but maybe through someone else in a later time. Who knows? But yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this first episode, and I hope you words. I hope you come back tomorrow for more, because well, not tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Some point this week. I hope you come back for a second episode, because it's only going to get better from here. This is like the very beginning of the game. And we've got so much of this game to cover. So much. Hours worth of content. And yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this first episode. I hope that you're going to continue to enjoy the episodes in the future. And please like and subscribe. It's always free, which is really good. And yeah, I'll see you later.